All right, you guys, we live. We got a test coming for you guys right now to see if we even work. Cause last time you guys know we froze up. I got my volume down. Yep.
Touchdown.
Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. All right, we rolling, man. We rolling, man. We is rolling. Got the mic on.
Sersky. What's up, Full Circle? It's your boy Flash. It's your boy Official Go Getter, man. We're coming at you with the first Wealth Wednesdays of February. Getting into it, man. It's a nice day outside. The sun's kind of blooming. You know what I'm saying? It's feeling good, looking good, smelling good. Gucci cologne. Nah, though, man. Wednesday, first Wednesday of February. Yeah, man. Get into it. How I'm feeling. You good? Feeling like it's Wednesday for sure, man. It's the best time of the week, man. Right in the middle of the week where we get to figure out where we're putting our mind for the rest of the week. You know, making sure that comes towards the end of the week, we have not only a plan, we got a system and a way to execute, man.
All of it, man. So, with that being said, man, forget how we feeling, man. Forget all about that. We about to get into these charts, man. You got anything you want to get into before we get into the charts, my brother?
Now let's do it.
Both Wednesdays,
No.
one of February.
How are you?
Forget how I am. We getting straight to these charts. You know what I'm saying? Look, man. First things first. We always talk about SPY. If you guys don't know what SPY is, that is the top 500 publicly traded companies all in one index. That is the SPY. That is the index. You can buy this and you'll have a portfolio. You could buy this and you'll have a plethora of stocks within one stock, right? Long story short, man, the reason why we look at this is because it gauges the market. Every week, you guys know, we've been talking about this 700 target. You know we've been playing in this box when I talk about support resistance. We're still between that 680 and 696 now. We've made new highs to a high at 697, man. This box that I have colored right here, man, that's the brick wall that I'm calling. That's the brick wall that I'm calling, my brother, because every time we get up here, you see, we hit this thing, we get up here, we hit it, and we just reject. We got up here the other day, and we rejected, bro. So I started calling it the brick wall, and I had to look into, it was no longer about technical analysis for me anymore, bro. It started to become about fundamental analysis. I'm like, why is it that when we get to this level we keep rejecting?
Right.
You know, what do we need? And it brought up some key things. I got some key things that I wanted to touch, and it's not gonna be too much, but it made me realize something new that I didn't really think of before is the fact that the market has already priced all the stuff in that we have. You know, there's no new news, no new forecast in the economy, which is causing the institutions and other investors to not want to push it higher than this right here.
Right.
Right. We already know about the Trump. We already know about the interest rates. We already know about the inflation and tariffs. All that stuff is already priced in. So that's what's causing it to fail to get above that, right? So with that being said, man, we back here to last week's low to 684. I thought we was gonna get a little higher, but it just kept going right back lower. So whoever's been trading in this range, you know, these is easy trades because you get to one level, oh, it rejects, it's going back to the other level. You get to the next level, it goes right back up to the up, it goes right back down. So, man, that's what SPY is looking like, man. As far as current news today, what do we have? There's nothing current as far as what TradingView wants to put up on us, but hey.
I think we did have red folder today.
We had some red folder?
I think so.
Break that down. What is red folder news for us, brother?
It's major news within the U.S. economy that would affect the market as it's dropped. So, like we have FOMC, that was last week. That was red folder news, you know, and we got, I mean, not on the day when we were looking at it, but the day after, it was major volatility throughout all the markets. I think gold started kind of crashing that day or the day on that Thursday. Silver was also low, Bitcoin low, everything. So when it comes to Rare Photo News, it's just to determine where the market is going. You know what I'm saying, and how to understand it after that.
Yeah, we talked about that one of them recent both Wednesdays episodes. Sorry about that. We talked about how the news lines up with the market, and that we call that fundamental analysis.
Yeah.
So, man, thank you for the breakdown, man. So that's SPY for you guys. That's the S&P 500 and how the stocks is looking.
I got a question though, real quick.
Go ahead.
What you I see that we come down. You just like you said, the brick wall, right? And multiple times prices tapped and rejected. What do you predict would happen once we break this 700 or this brick wall? Let's call it. What are we doing? Are we going higher into the 700s? Are we touching it one time and then leaving it alone? How are you feeling about that?
So that's a great question. And we had that fake breakout here. I just wanted to point that at to 697, and it didn't hold above. So when we get to that point where we get above that this brick wall and we hold above it, obviously we want to see that retest, like I've talked about. You want to see that break and that retest. I think when we break and I see that hold above, we finally get that breathing room to go up higher, right? So, and then 700 plus. So I think that we will eventually see, when it gets above that, we see that 700 plus, right? We can even take the tool right here, and just from 696 from that brick wall all the way up to, let's say, so that's 1%. 1% is, let me go down. 1% gain is 703. So say we get a 5% gain over, the course of the next few months. You know what I'm saying? That's 2%, 212. 4%, 726. My bad, y'all. Let me get it up there. Okay, 5%. 5% right here, $732. So now that's a good question again, because I want you guys as viewers to think about that. We've been talking about the range of $684 and $696. I mean, that would be crazy to say that SPY is at $730, $740.
Yeah. What does that look like for our economy too? Not just SPY, but are we lower interest rates? You feel me? What are we?
So how does that look, right? Because SPYs, these are all-time highs, right? And the important thing to look at is this chart, man. Over time, this is why it's important for you to buy your investments and hold them. You see, 2016, we could start there. That's $162. So from 2016, you went from 162 to now you're at $700 damn near in 2025, over 10 years, right? And that's a crazy game,
Yeah,
and that's it.
Over time, it's obviously different with stocks. Can you see the percentage? That's 700%, but what does that look like for the?
No, it's not seven. You meant $700. My bad. 300%.
300%. Got you. So that's a 3x.
So that's 300% on your money over the last 10 years, and that's slow growth because you're in an index, right? The index are the safer investments because, like I told you, you get a variety of stocks under in one stock basically, right? And that's diversification. Diversification across different stocks causes you to move a little slower, a little safer, a little bit more predictable than just investing into, let's say, we could use, NVIDIA and having over the last year, thousands of percent of the last 5 years, so that's SPY for us, man. I'm gonna hand it over to you. Let's talk about this Bitcoin because that's what's really going crazy, man. That crypto, we gotta talk about that crypto.
Gotta talk about the crypto, man. Remember, I was telling you, let me just put this here. Telling you before, if we broke that level of 76,000, then we would be in a bull or bearish market. And talking about where price is now, we're at 72,900. Let's just say it's 73,000, right, for Bitcoin. This is a great time for traders, especially if you have the capital to trade Bitcoin. In spaces where there are a lot of traders, personally, I have seen that a lot of people are really selling the market, selling the Bitcoin market specifically, due to gold having an all-time high, right? And so gold being that safe haven asset, right? And Bitcoin also being like that digital store of value. Those both can be going up at the same time, ultimately, because one is, like I said, gold is a safe haven asset, as well as Bitcoin being that digital store of value kind of like the same thing, but gold is very tangible. It's tangible. You can hold it, touch it, throw it, kiss it, all the shit. So with gold going up, hitting all-time high of $5,600, Bitcoin is bound to crash, right? And that's what we're seeing here. You know, we broke that level, and we broke. I forget which one I marked it under. I think it was it wasn't this one. I had just put this one. There was one here. It was about it was like 76K. And as we see, we came up to this resistance level here, went a little bit past it, and broke it. 97K. That was January 14th. Yeah, that sounds about right. We came back, zooming in a little bit.
You can remove the lines too, so they can see better if you need to.
I'm gonna remove this one. And we had a bounce off of that level and a bounce off of this level too, so I'm gonna leave those two. Yeah, with that being said, you know, there's a bit of a panic in the crypto space due to Bitcoin kind of crashing, right, and going to that lower level of 70 in the 70,000s. And if we look at CoinMarketCap right here, you know, we over the last 30 days, it has been down market, almost 30, not the whole 30, but matter of fact, I'm gonna come with that the next time. Watch this. I'm gonna come with that. But the crypto market is down about almost. I think it's a little over 30%. It's definitely down over the year, but as we can see right here, it says altcoin season index, right? When we were talking about Bitcoin when it was at the 90,000s, the lower 80,000s, we had the altcoin season index around like 14% or 14 out of 100.
Yeah.
12 out of 100, you know. Now we're moving up. This is 34, and it doesn't really reflect that necessarily when it comes to the altcoins, because we see Ethereum hitting its, I think it's like 100, it's 365-day low, 52-week low. And we haven't seen a $2,000 Ethereum in hella long, like.
Yeah, bro. Last time I looked at Ethereum, it was 4,000.
Exactly.
Minutes since I looked at that.
And that was around here. Liar. Hold on.
So how do you feel about Ethereum for the viewers, man?
Yeah, Ethereum definitely. Okay, so, you know, we got the big brother Bitcoin. Then we got Ethereum. So Ethereum was produced to allow the same type of. It was the second to Bitcoin. Ethereum is the second brother, ultimately. Ethereum is the second crypto that really had. It was the first crypto that had utility usage, right? It had high utility, and then they adopted smart contracts. They adopted the DeFi space, so now there's, you know, NFTs and things like that on the Ethereum network. And so personally, how I feel about it, it is an investment that is worth watching. I personally don't hold Ethereum. I'm looking for those major ROI gains, right? And Ethereum has kind of had not its peak, but we've seen Ethereum be crazy, right? Just like you said, $4,000. And they've been ranked number 2 on CoinMarketCap for years. I think we can actually go back and we can see age, years. I think we can see, let's go 2020. I don't know what happened, never mind. But Ethereum's been number 2 for a long time. How I feel about Ethereum, I don't hold it personally. It is a great store of value as well. They have a lot of DeFi, they have a lot of TradeFi. They have a lot of major partners. I just don't hold them personally. I think that there's a lot of other opportunities, right? Also, Solana is built off of Ethereum machine. It's called the EVN, and it is the Ethereum virtual network. And they provide white paper and as well as code for a lot of other cryptos. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's all good. But you don't mess with Ethereum too much, and a lot of people don't, from what I hear. You know, Ethereum don't really seem like it really gives the movement a lot of people like, let alone moves at all.
Yeah.
So, you know, that is Ethereum. That is the crypto breakdown. You got anything else you want to break down?
Yes, Canton. I've talked about this multiple times in the last couple of weeks, man. They're ranked 15. I think they were coming from. I honestly don't remember the last time where they were. Last time I need to look at these videos, but I had posted in the Discord a breakdown on, as well as this video here, but a breakdown in the videos. I'm tripping. Tuesday Takedown. I broke down exactly what and how important Canton is and what they're doing behind the scenes and how important it is for you to grab some of that. By the way, we didn't do the disclaimer. This is not financial advice. We are not your financial advisors. This is us doing what we're doing. Do what you want to do. You feel me? Yeah, Canton at rank 15. We go down to Flare. Flare is moving up about at the beginning of this year. It was about 72 right here where XDC is now. XDC is also moving up. You know, my four right now is XDC, obviously XRP, HBAR, Flare, and Canton. That's what I'm looking at right now for those long-term gains. And yeah, man, that's the crypto market. You know, we got the altcoin season rising, index rising. We get to that real 50%, right, where it's really alt season, and we see, mind you, hold on, XRP is at $1.50 right now. I get paid today, man. I'm definitely finna load up on XRP as well as XDC and Canton, man. Canton is, yeah, all of these is low right now. Nothing but buying opportunities. Get you a piece of that, man. Ultimately, I could keep reiterating, right? But let me see real quick where we at with it. Just want to see real quick, man. Yeah, that's the crypto market.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, that leads us into our next segment. We're going to be talking about buying the dip today, right? That's what this Wealth Wednesdays is going to be about. And we're going to be discussing what buying the dip means. We're going to be reiterating that because, like Flash was just talking about with the cryptos, there's opportunity out there to get these assets at a quality price, right? Cheaper than you think, right? The same price that you would go pay for an outfit, same price you would go pay for a date, all of it, man. So we're going to be talking about what buying the dip means and all of it. So how would you describe buying the dip?
Describe it in the terms of what I would do or what it looks like.
For the viewer, yeah, what it looks like. What does buying the dip look like when it comes down to, you know, let's do it in crypto. How do you go about buying the dip, buying the assets, and all of it?
So I'm gonna go back to this right here, and I'm gonna use XRP as a prime example. Actually, I'm gonna go to the XRP chart. XRP chart right here. We got these big dips, right? And so there is this level here at $1.80, right? Bang. And say we had set up what buying the dip looks like. As a trader, you would, or an investor, as an investor, you would find exactly where price aligns with, just like you say, price doesn't, the market doesn't, history repeats itself. And the market rhymes, right? How you say it? What you be saying, man? What you be saying?
What is it? History doesn't always repeat itself, but in the market it rhymes.
Come on.
In the market, when it comes down to history, it doesn't always repeat itself, but it often rhymes.
Bang. With that being said, we see right here that we're on the daily, there is a bit of a consolidation around this point here at $1.49, right? And we're really close to it. We're really close to right there. That being said, this would be a perfect buying opportunity because we see all this. We see this whole upside, right? And we see that price is $1.50. We seen that the high is $3.60. So when it comes to buying the dip, you look at fundamentals and then technicals afterwards, right? Fundamentally, we see price, or fundamentally, we know what XRP does. We know what XRP has in store and what they're gonna go be, what they plan on doing with the world and how we're gonna flow through cryptocurrency, right? So bang, with XRP being $1.05, sounds perfect. Now the technical part is exactly what I just did. I found a point within the market that seems like it hasn't been, let's call it touched. This point of the market right here hasn't been came into until just about right now, which would lead me to think that this right here, where we're at current price, is a perfect buying opportunity for buying the dip. Yeah. Let me drag this one. Perfect opportunity right here for buying the dip. Especially if we break below this level, you know, it's nothing more but a buying opportunity. You know, that increase. So you buy at let's say the next week, XRP goes down to $1.03, $1.30.
Yeah.
That's about right here. Oh, that's $1. We see price nothing but a great opportunity ultimately.
Yeah. So for, you know, the beginners and for the people who are just not getting started, you know, when it comes down to buying a dip, it's simply just buying these assets, buying whatever stock or crypto at a price that is lower than the actual value and the value that you may even think it may be, right? So just like he expressed, XRP is at $1.50 right now, but you can see that up here in this area that I'm about to circle, this area is, let's do that one. That's around $2 to the range of $3, right? So if it sits in a range of $2 to $3, and we know that's where the value lies, right? And now it's at $1.50, that would be a good buying opportunity because of the value of the crypto and the price that is at a discounted price based off what is actually valued. So today we're going to be talking about how we spot those opportunities so you guys can do that yourself. He just talked about doing it for XRP. I'm just going to bring up, let's talk about that recent Apple example that I just talked about on Instagram. If you guys don't follow the Instagram, go follow us at the Full Circle Wealth Instagram. We come with daily clips, right? And I had just posted clips about a clip about Apple, right, which is what I've been talking about in the Discord, right? So every Saturday and Sunday I come with some stocks that I've been looking at the chart, right? And I've been talking about this the last couple of weeks. So this is a good example of buying a dip as well. So we see that Apple usually is up in this range between two. It came from this range of 267, 270 to almost $300, 280, right? You had that you had that bearish move from 288 all the way to the downside of 243. But the reason that I was thinking that it would be a good buying opportunity is because this is the resistance, this is the support. When we got to this level of 255, right? Last time we got here, we consolidated and moved up. This time we kind of did the same thing. We ended up breaking down. This was a range, right? So a demand zone is where people buy, right? I kind of touched on that in my Monday Madness, but a demand zone is where people are buying, while a supply zone is where people are selling. When it got to this 255, I'm like, okay, this is a demand zone. Potentially, price could move back up to the upside. You don't want to get to predicting. You kind of want to wait for price to do what it does, right? So here, if I would have got into early at 255 and said, oh, I want to buy some stocks, right? I want to buy right now, I would have lost a couple dollars before it moved back up to the upside, which isn't the worst because in the long run, you're always going to make your money back. But if you were trading, that's bad because you didn't wait until it actually started moving up in that direction. You just ended up buying when it got to that level, thinking it was going to move up to the upside. I've done that before. Don't do that, right? I learned my lesson the hard way. Long story short, you can see based off of this support level, this is support, but last time it was lower than support and you saw consolidation. It came to this low of 243, right? So I have marked that previously, and back what Flash was talking about, history doesn't always repeat itself, but it often does rhyme. You may not see the same exact thing, but you may see something very similar, if not the same exact thing. So we got 243 hit again, and it moved back from 243 to 275, right? And the only reason why I was able to see that and take advantage of the opportunity and give you guys that opportunity as well to take advantage was because I'm looking at this chart and I can see the value lies up here, but right now it's discounted right here. So don't be afraid to buy when it's red. And I want us to go into that next. I'm gonna ask you that, when you see markets are red, right, like we are today, how did you change your mindset? How did you go about the mindset when it came down to taking advantage of those red days? Were you always ready to take advantage of those red days, or were you starting off, were you kind of scared to buy when it was red?
I'm gonna be honest. Yes, when it came to, when it came to seeing markets, the psychology of the charts, you gotta have your mind kind of screwed on. Mm-hmm. And so, for someone just starting out, it'd be like, damn, ooh, I see green right all day. I must buy because it's because it's green. Mm-hmm. And that's obviously that's wrong, and that's why we're talking about this today. But that was my mindset at first. I was scared because I'm thinking that I see red. That means I'm gonna lose my money, and I'm not thinking of a trader standpoint. I'm thinking of an investor standpoint, right? So just like you said, I could have got in here, but price could still be going down here, right? So I would definitely, once upon a time, I was definitely scared to get in at this point, not knowing what it would look like at the end. Yeah. And so, yeah, now flipping that, right? My mindset of when it's red, obviously it's a buying opportunity, right? Investor. But what got me to that point was realizing that, just like you said, the value's up here, right? And knowing that if this is where we were, and knowing that we're speaking upon Apple right now, so knowing that this is where we were, and I have an iPhone, you have an iPhone, I got a MacBook, right? You got a MacBook. Everybody has these types of products. There's no way that the value down here doesn't come back up, or the price down here doesn't come back up to this value up here, right? So that is my mindset when it comes to seeing red and getting into it and buying the dip.
Mm-hmm. And over time, it'll become easier because, even for me, when I had first started getting into investing, I would think that, red, I would see the red, and it's going to have you thinking that, you're losing money, or you're supposed to be thinking negatively, or such and such, such and such. But I like what you said about, if I know that Apple is still it's still very prominent in the economy. People are using iPhones, people are using their products, all of this stuff. The thesis of why I bought hasn't changed, so that should take the fear away.
Right.
So for anybody, so with it being red, and with today being a red day, and like I was talking about, the SP 500 moving down to the downside, Bitcoin moving down to the downside, we wanted to emphasize looking at these days as opportunities, right? When you hear people talk about a market being crashed, that's usually an indication of really to buy. And the more you are in this market, the more you see that. There was something that when I was first starting, people always said, when they say crash, that's the time to buy, because they're only trying to make prices lower to give themselves an opportunity. And you see that time and time again, right? Even when, I'll watch CNBC and see them talking about certain stocks, and they'll be talking down upon it. I know that's that time to buy, because you guys are just talking down upon it, and that increases the likelihood of it to be pushed down lower to a better price. So, take advantage of those dips, man. Passing it off to you.
Yeah, talking about Netflix, perfect example of everything we're talking about right now. Where are we? Netflix yesterday hit a low of $79. We've been talking about Netflix since they had released that they were trying to partner with Warner Bros. Studios before they even acquired them. We've been talking about Netflix since they made that deal.
Yeah.
We seen Netflix come from that $100 range and go below. Look at this. See, Official Go-Getter's already ready for that upside. You feel me? He's already ready for that 52% to come hit that account, man. This is exactly what we're talking about, having that mindset of knowing that the value is up here and price is down here, right? Knowing that price has to come up, because personally, I still got a Netflix subscription. You feel
Yeah.
me? Me and my girl watch Netflix sometimes.
Yeah.
So, that being said, there's no way that Netflix can't come back up to this level. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. It doesn't have to be next year. It don't got to be the next 3 years. But I know getting in at this bottom will only lead me to get a better return on investment when we get back to those $100, $120 levels, $130 levels.
Yeah, yeah. You know, Netflix is a good one, and it's under $100, right? And like I had mentioned when we first started, this is how you can take advantage of these stocks for something that costs less than the outfit you was planning to buy to go out with, right?
Come on.
I was just talking about people going to the club on my Instagram story. You know, it costs less than a night out at the club, or maybe even the same amount. It doesn't really matter. This is something that you could sacrifice for your future. You could put $80 and grow it from 80 to 126, right? And that's gains on your investments, whatever money that you're saving, right? I was just telling somebody else the other day, a family member of mine, take that 10%, take that 20%, put 10% in a savings account, put 10% in an investing account, right? If you're investing your money the right way, you don't have to just keep your money stagnant, at all. You got your money being saved, and you got it being invested over time, and it's growing 20%, 30%, 50%, right? Inflation grows it's different than what they say on paper for real, but at a 10% rate for real around every year. And with that being said, we gotta make sure that we can either keep up with it or beat it, right? So, and investing is that way, right? So, like he's talking about, Netflix is a good one. I was just talking about Robinhood up in the Discord, right? Robinhood is a good one, right? These are two stocks that are under $100 that you guys could take advantage of. XRP's at $1.50. It doesn't take a lot, right? It doesn't take a lot. It does not take a lot for you guys to take the money that you have and start putting it somewhere where it can grow and work for you. All it takes is changing that mindset and that discipline. You got to sacrifice, man. Yeah. So with that being said, where we at? What's the time we at?
Let me see.
Yeah, we only have 32 minutes. But let's talk about what's in this Discord, man. You guys know we got the stock market news, right? That's where we keep the updated news of the stock market. Flash keeps this updated stuff in the crypto news, right? That's the crypto news, right? Stocks 101, right? This is where you can go through and get a whole breakdown on understanding the stock market, right? And understanding what it means, what it does. I got the video talking about all the stuff that's written, so you don't got to go through it. You can do that yourself. Crypto 101. Talk about that, my boy.
Same with crypto, man. I got exactly breaking down what things are, what crypto is, why it was created, things like that. Ways to be secure with your crypto. I honestly need to update this because my opinion has changed on how to enhance your security when it comes to crypto and where to put your this is in the wrong place. I'm gonna fix that because anyway, yeah, changing my opinion on how to be secure with it, you know what I'm saying? And that crypto 101, man, just getting into it. It's a lot easier said than done, but once you do it, it becomes easier.
Yeah.
It becomes easier to invest. It becomes easier to want to know how to be better at finding those assets and capitalizing off of the price, right? Especially this time now. Mm-hmm. And this is what is implemented throughout the entire Discord. This is where we're pushing, right? Yeah. This is not in the right place, bro. It's bothering me. Why did I put this in here? This definitely goes in the crypto news. Jeez. Lock it in, twin.
Yep, check out the crypto news. Check it all out.
Yes.
For the people who want to get into the trading, Go tap in with the trading basics, right? We got trading basics where you can learn what the different type of markets there are, the stock market, all the forex market, crypto market, the different type of trading styles, right? Risk management, right? Tools and resources. This is a slight breakdown of different platforms that we have used and do use to trading basics. I go through everything that I broke down. When it comes down to technical analysis, you guys can watch this video. It's not too long. It's only about like 20 minutes, I believe, 17 minutes, right? And you guys could just go take advantage of what's in the Discord and upgrade your arsenal, right? That's what matters most, man. Let me get up out of that. Continue right here. New Monday Madness just dropped. Okay, so we talked about every Monday, Tuesday, we got Monday Madness where I come down with a stock market breakdown in the Discord. Tuesday, talk about what you come with Tuesday Takedown. I was gonna say, I was telling you to talk about what you come with.
Oh yeah. Tuesday Takedown. Usually I'm breaking down a crypto or I have a story that I put together. For example, this past week I put together a web of connections, starting with the DTCC, and that's how I go about it. I update the crypto news every day of either upcoming news or things that I found interesting, and then for Tuesday Takedown, I kind of go in depth with that.
Yep.
Have a story behind it.
Yep. And that got me thinking about what's right here. Stocks analysis. So Saturday and Sunday, I come with Sacrifice Saturday, right? Supercharged Sunday, right? These are the times where I take the time to look at the chart when they are closed, because that's where I feel like I find the best opportunities, right? When the markets are closed on the weekend, and I look at different buying opportunities, right? I've been talking about different stocks up in here, and the same buy the dips that we talk about. I'm always looking at stocks that are at a dip, that are always moving in a good range of price, or whatever the case may be, for opportunities for you guys to look at. That's the stock analysis. The technical analysis. That's what we talk about when it comes down to looking at this chart, right? We're talking about the difference between technical analysis and fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis is when we read that news, right? Technical analysis is when we look at that chart, right? Read them candlesticks, right? So I got a technical analysis basics up in here. There's no excuse, there's no excuse for you guys. We got it up in here for you guys to really take advantage, and then you guys could contact us up in here so you guys could get an understanding in your own way, right? It's all within the Discord. Mindset, we got our mindset up in here. Flash be putting up the quotes up in here. Talk about your favorite quote that you put up in here, my boy. Right
where you went off. Success doesn't take days off, just like you said. Supercharged Sunday, you know what I'm saying? Even on the weekends when people are doing what they're doing, partying, you know what I'm saying, with the girls, with the boys, you feel me, at the bar, at the club, at the movies, you feel me, anywhere they're at, right? We don't take days off. Success don't sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is what this looks like.
It got to become a whole lifestyle, right?
Full circle wealth.
Sacrifice Saturday, I always talk about, taking the time, whether it's an hour or 2 hours. I always emphasize, we always got that extra time on the weekend. Take a moment to do what most are not. Whether that's going through our Discord and studying, right, for an hour, getting a workout in, reading a book, take an hour to grow. Time to yourself does not always have to look like smoking, drinking, chilling, like Flash was just talking about. You can still put work in and take advantage of how to enjoy yourself on the weekend, right? So every Saturday, I'm up in there. I'm talking about Sacrifice Saturday. I've been posting my workouts lately. I would love for you guys to get up in here and take advantage of the Discord and do the same, right? Because it's all about pushing each other. We can't just be the only ones pushing, right? Eventually, we gonna get some good, dedicated members up in here who's ready to push and grow with us, right? And hopefully that is you. So with that being said, we got books up in here. Books is important. I want you to I got right here. I was just listening to Jim Rohn last night. And if you guys can see it, he had brought something to my attention. Long story short, 10 pages a day equals 3,650 pages a year equals 12 books yearly, right? He was really emphasized the importance of being consistent, right? Mm-hmm. Being consistent. And consistent looks like setting yourself up for a system, right? It doesn't look like going all out for a certain period of time and then not being able to sustain it. Being consistent is something that you can sustain. And 10 pages a day is very something sustainable. And we was talking about that a little bit off camera. So touch on that a little bit for the viewers. And, talk about your system when it comes down to reading.
Yes, my system is, man, I push myself a little bit. 10 pages is, easy. That is very doable, and out of those 10 pages a day, right, you can read 3,650 pages a year, and that equals to 12 books. Personally, I read 20 pages a day, and so that would be double the amount of pages, about 7,200, and that's about 24 books if I play it right. And man, I try to get in that book every day. 20 pages, that's light, even if it's like 17, right? I make up for it on those days afterwards, and making sure that I'm on track with finishing my book. And that's really what really I'm gonna tell you right now, what sets you aside from people that you see, what sets you aside from the general population is the fact that you read any book. Reading a book at all will put you ahead of 90% of people, because a lot of people don't read, right? A lot of people don't have the time to read, quote unquote, which is an excuse for laziness. And, I don't really like to use that word, but that's exactly what that is. That the excuse to not read is insane. On top of that, when it comes to knowledge, there's a lot that's on Instagram. There's a lot of knowledge on TikTok. There's not a lot of knowledge on Twitter, right? But when you have books that have been around since before Christ, right? There's books that have been around when the dinosaurs is around, right? There's people that was writing in clay that put knowledge on paper so that their generations up to come can read that. With that being, what I'm trying to say is, there's so much knowledge in books that you don't get on the internet, right? There's so much knowledge in books. There's a plethora of genres of books that you can get into. Find your niche, what type of books you want to read, right? Cookbooks, government books, how to run a business, right? How to scale a business, how to talk to girls, how to treat your girlfriend right? How to become a husband, things like that. There's all types of books. And so with that being said, understand that there's unaccounted for knowledge, and you putting yourself in the position, or you putting yourself in the library, right? You want to go get a library card. You putting yourself in a book puts you ahead of 95% of people, because I'm trying to tell you, in this day of age, a lot of people are illiterate. They can't read. You feel me? They can't write. They don't understand how to format a sentence or even write an email, and that's all due to them not reading books, right? How to articulate themselves. It all starts from them not being able to read. And I'm trying to tell you, putting a book in your hands is detrimental to growth. I kind of wish we had put that in the new year how we're coming into 2026. Remember that presentation that we put in there, because reading books is so important. And it's like I said, it's very detrimental to your growth, as well as many other things. But you reading and taking the time to read as much as you can will put you ahead of everybody you know in a year. It doesn't even need to be that 6 months, especially if you read the right books. So with that being said, the Creature of Jekyll Island, this book right here, man, this is what I plan to read next month. It's going to take me all month to read. And I already read 20 pages a day, so there's 608 pages in the book, and 20 pages a day equals 30 days. It's 30.4. So that means there's going to be at least one day where I'm going to have to read 23 or 24 pages, which is cool. Anyway, this book is going to take me all next month. And to give you a little bit of insight, I have broke it down. It says The Creature from Jekyll Island is a powerful read because it forces you to question how modern financial systems are built, who truly benefits from them, and why money works the way it does today. It sharpens your ability to think independently about power, banking, incentives, and whether you agree with it or not, it upgrades your financial awareness and skepticism. Yeah, man, this book is going to be a great read, as well as many of the books that we have up here. I just finished The Millionaire Next Door. Great book.
Yeah,
Power of Discipline.
After, all the things Flash just touched on, something that, I had a few things that sparked my mind. Words are the way to which we see the world. I was listening to Myron Golden the other day, and he had said that quote. And based off what you were saying about the importance of reading, you know, I wanted to emphasize that to you guys. You know, he put it in perspective that when you learn new words, right, and as you're reading, look those words up in the dictionary, something that you don't know. It truly opens up your perspective and doors in the world, right? Because just thinking about it, based off of word that you don't know, you can't talk to a certain person. Based off of how you can't articulate yourself, you can't talk to a certain person or go into certain doors, right? You learn certain words and you're able to describe life differently because you know certain words, right? So that was something that that sparked my mind that I wanted to touch on with you guys. Another thing too, based off his system when it comes down to, you know, reading 20 pages a day, I'm also a listener. I'm an Audible guy, right? So even if you're somebody who doesn't want to sit down and read, you know, I have read a new book the whole month of January called The Let Them Theory, and just listening to it daily, right? So hour a day, 30 minutes a day, taking that time to take my notes. So even if you aren't somebody who wants to read, I suggest also reading, but an Audible works perfectly fine. Listening to, you know, free books on YouTube, you know, and listening to, you know, if you want to buy an Audible, they're usually cheaper. Those are dope. And then, you know, the thing you touched on about principles, you know, the thing you touched on about, you know, books before Christ, reading timeless books, reading books that you can still read and apply today from the 1980s, 1800s, all this stuff. You know, when you build your life around principles, they're universal laws, right? And when it comes down to principles, you do a certain input to get a specific output. That's just how it works. And reading, you read 20 pages a day, that leads to you having a better mindset, right? Being smarter, a better view of the world, which leads to better results in the world. That's just the principle. So that's it right there, my boy. Yeah, we got them books for you guys all up in the book section. We got videos all up in the book section. We got tools, we got glossary. Anything you want to touch on when it comes down to books before I move forward?
Yeah, real quick. Why do you read? Tell the people why you read.
Yeah, truthfully, I read just to sharpen my cognitive ability, right? I read because I know that once you understand more, there's a lot that you don't know. You know, reading is the only way where you can truly improve on that mindset, right? And stretch yourself, make yourself uncomfortable to break new heights. Yeah. How about you? How you read?
Yeah, I like to read to
not how, why, I'm sorry.
Yeah. To improve my speech. To understand that as listening, or I guess reading, but I have the picture in my head of what I'm reading. So listening to what I'm reading and then having the ability to reflect on it and then having an outlook on it ultimately.
Yeah.
And being able to speak what I'm reading very fluently after just reading it, not just reading it and then having to reread it. Nothing wrong with that, but you know, reading it that one time or maybe twice and understanding exactly what it's saying. That's why I read to improve, I guess, my cognitive ability, right, and my speech.
Yeah, you know, because you know, like it's all, you know, like I talk about the pillars: mental, physical, financial. You know, reading is the mental thing that I do for my pillar. Always learning something new every day. If it's not reading, I'm okay with just watching a new podcast that day, you know. But learning something new every day, like you was just talking about, and then learning how to articulate that, I mean, that is what truly sets you apart. Just like he was talking about. Like you're going to, you know, you have the person who doesn't read and improve their focus or their brain, right, to be able to really even take in and digest information. You have the person who doesn't, and you have the person who does. I mean, there's a clear difference. There's a clear difference. So get that habit of reading. Become a person who learns more and read. The beautiful thing about us in the Full Circle Wealth community is that we do not just emphasize money. We ain't just coming at you guys talking about the latest crypto, the latest stock, and buying at a certain time, and we made this money. Come on, man. we
It's
are
full circle
truly
wealth.
in the gutter, and we show it every week. We read these books. We got the mindset. We apply it. We stretch ourselves. We doing it, and we just want to inspire you guys to do the same, man. So we built a whole community, and we built a whole portfolio, whole catalog, whole library. That's the word that I was looking for. Full of knowledge that we've accumulated over the last couple of years to get us to where we are. And the thing about where we are is we ain't rich yet, right? We ain't the most wealthy kids on the block yet, right? But the thing that's beautiful about us is we are up in here and in our spirit, right? And if you guys understand something about growth and something about money, you already are rich in the mind before you are rich physically. And it starts with the habits. It starts with all of it. And you guys can see that. I was just talking about it, but you guys could see it, and I was emphasizing it so you guys could hear it from us, right? So, because when you're listening to this right now, you ain't gonna get to where you want to get to by no accident. And we know where we're going. And we damn sure ain't gonna get there by no accident. And the blueprint's right here in the Full Circle Wealth Library, my boy. So
Come on.
You close it. Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do.
Anybody laughing at you for reading? Anybody laughing at you because you got a book, man? Them is the slowest people you could be around. You know what I'm saying? Don't be discouraged.
Talk about that. You ever been laughed at for trying to improve yourself?
Come on, bro.
Break that down.
When it comes to, yeah, in a different lens, I'm gonna bring it back full circle. You already know. In a different lens, a lot of people laugh at growth because they're scared to do it. Right? Mm-hmm. They're scared to get to swim in uncharted waters. They're scared to understand themselves to the point where they can elevate every single day. With that being said, when somebody's laughing at you because they are, when somebody's laughing at you because you're growing, they just want the validation in themselves. They want you to tell them that you can do it. You can do it just like me. You know what I'm saying? They want you to tell them that you're just as good, right? But in reality, bro, it all starts from within, and as well as the environment. But it has nothing to do with the fact that he's getting on, or she or he is getting on you because you're growing. It has everything to do with them. The let them theory would be a perfect example. If you got a quote or two from that, and like specifically touching on the fact of growth.
Oh yeah. So look, man.
Yeah.
It talked about it in both ways. Letting the people who talk bad about you, right? Let them talk bad about you, because that's more something within them than it is within you.
Yeah.
Right? Just let them have that thought process, because something that it emphasizes, you are not responsible for another person's emotional immaturity. Okay, then flip it down to the good side, where even if you see somebody that you may be jealous of, or you may be inspired by, right? Somebody who has something that you want, let them, right? Because they're just showing you what's possible. The more, the second you release that energy, man, and just let people be them, it makes it easier to be you.
100%. Yeah. Bringing it back to capitalizing on what you said, and then bringing it back to what it looks like when you're reading and somebody's laughing at you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Or it's, you can't do nothing with somebody who don't want to help themselves ultimately, right? A college graduate with their master's degree isn't going to talk to somebody who says that college ain't worth it, right? Because it's a whole different set of mindset, and that is let them, Yeah, man.
Let people be people, dog.
Yeah. Don't feel discouraged ever because you're trying to elevate your life. It only affects you. It doesn't affect that person, because at the end of the day, they'll be like, they told you so, and then that'll be that end of the conversation. They're not going to be like, there's not a second thought in their mind about, what I'm saying, what Full Circle Wealth is doing. That's a one-time thought thing, and you don't even want those people around you.
Yeah.
Because it deteriorates your success and your growth. It crumbles. Like you stay in an environment where you're hated on. It crumbles your spirit, and the spirit is what leads you to becoming better. That's all I got to say about that, though.
Nah, that's important, man. That's important. Forget them people who's talking, because the people who's talking
We could.
aren't doing nothing, right? So, with that being said, man,
Where we at?
we got 54 minutes.
54? In a circle.
Oh, snap. What we got?
I got a few questions for us, man, just about the outlook of the last month and this month, right? So my first question is, when you look back at January as a whole, how did it actually feel?
Yeah, January felt good, man. January felt good as far as knowing that I tracked my progress, knowing that it was the first month of the year, and I was just consistent with everything that I wanted to be consistent about. Now February, leading into February, it's just about doubling down on that and being even more consistent, right? Like something that I did today is I ended up. This was the first time where I actually shot videos in advance, right? I've been saying that I've been wanting to do that for the past weeks now, but I didn't do it till today.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
That's just about that's what February is looking like. How about you?
Yeah, January was good, especially because I had already had in my mind in December the leading ups of the last months of last year leading up into January that I wanted to change the way that I operate on a daily basis. And with that being said, I was able to get that done, right?
Yeah.
I was able to get my habits in order and then actually see, I got the habit tracker. I don't need to pull it out, but I got the habit tracker, and just having that reflection of the month is what made it good. There was multiple months or moments within the month that were great times, you know what I'm saying? And I was very happy about where I was. But the real joy came from looking at my habit tracker and seeing that there was progress, you know, and growth. Yeah, man. Second question. What daily habits in January do you think are already shaping how February is starting?
My habits of content in the gym, all of them, honestly. Content, gym, reading, and spiritually. Like I talked about, I like the Audible, but I also emphasize also reading a book. So I picked up some books that I haven't finished that I've had for years, and starting a new book this month, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one, and then the gym. I was consistent with that in January, so leading into February, I definitely feel the momentum. I created some momentum in January, and I feel all of it. And I think it's important that you create yourself some momentum.
Yes, sir.
And do your hardest not to fall off of it, right? How about you, though?
Yeah, my habits are. I had at the beginning of last month, I was saying that I was not being as on time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so that is what I have been kind of focused on, and that's my habit of being on time with the way that I do things, and it's the start of February for one, but it's going great, being on time to work. Yesterday I was 30 minutes early to work, and it was a feeling that but it was a feeling that I haven't had in a while because I wasn't prioritizing being on time.
Yeah.
And so it felt amazing. I had a lot of time that I just had to think. I just walked around. I wasn't really on my phone like that. I was, I went to go do some other stuff. I went to the grocery store. I got a couple drinks and stuff like that. And so yeah, it was great. It was a great time being on time. It's funny. Mm-hmm. Third question. What do you think about February, and where do you want to see growth, either specifically or unspecifically?
When it comes down to February, man, I'm looking forward to doubling down on my momentum and growth, specifically content creation and our product. So I think those are my main focuses for February. And really, I've been just dialing down what's my main focus for the year anyway, and it's just quality content and getting a quality product out there. So as far as February, yeah, that's I answered it right.
Yep.
Yeah, bet.
Yeah.
How about you though?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it specifically again?
It was, what do you think about February and where do you want to see growth? And I said either specifically or unspecifically. So, like, you know, you could be
No,
like.
so what do you think about
driving through the
February?
thing.
Where do you want to see growth in
Yeah.
February?
What I see for February is a staple. Last month was my introduction, you know, to what it looks like to be fully immersed in what I'm doing and being fully intentional about everyday life. And so that's the staple. And then what I want to see growth in is low-key support. Definitely not a hater in any capacity, but I feel like for people to support us, for people to support us, right, we have to do more. Not we, sorry. My fault. For me to see us getting and gaining the support that I think that we deserve, I feel like I have the support. I don't know why. Because we talking about full circle. I mean, that's us. You feel me? That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So, come on, man. Two times. Come on, man.
That's what it is, man. That's it.
So just support. I want to support others and other brands and other companies and other people, so that is reciprocated onto what I got going on, you know, and showing support to the things that some people may not see matter. I'm shedding light on the things that they may not, that the general population don't matter. I'm shedding light on that support and being supportive around that, you know, and that is what I see out of February because. Yeah, ain't no because, nigga. Yeah,
that's different. I ain't even thought about that one. See, you know, and that's something important too. You know, you guys give out that support, you know, and you get it reciprocated back to you. You know, something that I've always emphasized on my journey. I've always gave out support because I wanted it to come back. You know, even for the people who didn't support me.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel you on that, and you know, so. If you guys got something, Full Circle Wealth, we supporting. You know, put it up in the Discord. Actually, run it by us first.
Yeah.
Because don't get to just putting nothing. Y'all some
you gonna
people
get cussed
be a little
out.
odd. You know, over here posting some feet pics and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Get up out of here. But nah, we ain't having none of that. But support's a good one. You know, and you know, February I like that too. You know, it's a staple. You know, a staple on top of whatever you did January. This is either the month for you to build momentum or double down on the momentum. Keep going, you know, and keep going. You know, by January, February 2027, I could only imagine where we're gonna be looking like. And you too, if you following, man.
Right.
So, Full Circle Wealth. You got anything before we close?
Let's look at these markets one more time, man. Let's see how the market's finna close. In the next 30, I just want to see how we're doing with all the indices, you know, stocks. Bitcoin at 73, we was just below. Let me go to the hourly real quick. Not too much of nothing, no, I just want to check it out.
I'm about to get up out here and make me a orange banana ginger smoothie.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all don't know nothing about that.
They don't know about the ginger and the smoothie game.
Come on, man. That's another thing, too. You know, start incorporating that more in your diet. You know, put some greens up in there, put a smoothie up in there. Get to grocery shopping a lot more. As crazy as it may sound, you know, people be talking and want to hate on people who living smart, calling them broke. I just created a video on that today. It's real, man. You'll never hear me say the words I'm broke.
Oh yeah, never.
And that's just due to the mindset, because it's not about how much money you actually have in your pockets. It's about what you got in this mind. Stay tuned for that. I'm gonna be dropping that reel in the next hour or two.
Yeah. Okay, they happened this morning. Got you. Also got major red news tomorrow. Yeah, man. That brings us to the end of Full Circle Wealth, man.
Yeah,
Stop hating.
Comment, subscribe, follow us on the Instagram at Full Circle Wealth. Subscribe to the Discord, Full Circle Wealth, link in the bio on the Instagram. Right, if you're on YouTube, link in the comments, right? Subscribe to the YouTube. We're coming at you guys with content every week, and we're gonna be doing it a little different. I'm gonna chop this up into different clips. With that being said, close this out, my boy.
Full Circle Wealth, man. Do your own research, not financial advisors. It's your boy Flash. Boy Fisher, go get her behind the camera, man. Full Circle Wealth. Join the Discord. We out. Bang.